Welcome back. You ready for another story time? Let's give some of them some names. We're going to call one of them Harley Quinn, and we're going to call the other one Leona. So we flew into the Atlanta airport. We had a ridiculously long layover, so we decided to leave the airport and go to the mall. We spent a few hours there eating, shopping, and Leona even got her nails done. We hopped back in the Uber to head back to the airport. Everything is going smooth. Leona and myself have TSA pre-check, and Quinn has clear. So obviously it's two separate lines. However, we didn't know it was basically two different parts of the airport. Anyways, after we go through TSA, we call Quinn to meet back up with us. And she then at that time informed us she's at a completely different part. She couldn't find us. So we decided we'll just meet back up at the train. So once we get on the train, Quinn realized that her backpack feels a little lighter. She asked me to check if her computer is in it. I check. I tell her no, her computer is not in there. But she's always joking with people. So she just assumed I'm lying. So she checks her backpack. Frantic. She's like, oh my gosh, my computer isn't in there. And she decides that she's going to go back to TSA and check and see if it's at TSA. So Quinn asked her, Leona asked her, do you happen to have your ID? She says she passed her fanny pack and she was like, yes, I have my ID. Remember this part of the story because we're going to circle back around to this later. Leona and myself are casually strolling through the airport to get to our gate. And by the way, Atlanta, y'all wrong for putting Spirit Gate all the way in the back of the airport. You had to walk a country mile just to get to Spirit. We get to our seats, and I mean, as soon as we get to our seats, I get a call from Quinn that says she doesn't have her ID. What the fuck? Let me just ask you this. But okay, never mind. I offer to bring her her ID. She says no, that she's going to talk to a supervisor. But I know better than this. So we start to walk back to TSA. I told y'all it's a country mile, maybe even two to get back to TSA. She calls back and she says no, she doesn't need her ID. She just need me to send her a picture. So we send her a picture. She calls back and says, no, she needs the ID. And so after a few back and forth calls, I need the ID. I don't need the ID. I'm going to talk to the supervisor. I'll talk to the supervisor. We're on the phone and we're communicating. So at this point, me and Leona, that's her name, right? Leona is hot, tired, and stressed. I'm sure not as stressed as Quinn, but stressed nonetheless. Around this time, Quinn is communicating with TSA supervisor, and they're trying to direct me back into the exact area that TSA pre-check is at. Because like I told you, we were at two different areas. So I could bring Quinn. So I can bring Quinn back her ID. Leona threw her in the towel because she's not feeling good. So she turned back around. So it's just me. So I get on the train. I'm talking to Quinn. She's crying, saying that someone stole her laptop. The laptop isn't there. She's upset because she's on the other side of the TSA and can't get back in the airport. So she's just going through it, right? She's saying that everything that she owns is on this laptop. It's her work, home, school, everything. I'm hot. I'm feeling bad for her. But I say, in the meantime, don't you have a Mac? You should be able to get everything off the cloud. She said, no, it's a Dell. Remember that fact also. So I call Leona and I give her an update. And I say, I hope that when we get there, the supervisor isn't gone or to lunch or left or something for the day. So I'm starting to get very anxious. I'm truly feeling bad for my friend. I'm sweating like a 13-year-old boy on a hot summer day. Probably even smelling like one too. I wear natural deodorant and I can't even reapply because my deodorant is packed away in my suitcase. Anyway. I asked everyone there, like, that looked like they worked there, like, do you guys know how to get to this certain area? They told me it was like next to a donut shop or something like that, a bagel shop or something. So I'm asking everybody. I finally found this really nice man. He directed me exactly where it was located. When I get there, she's on the other side of TSA looking like a lost puppy. So I asked for the TSA supervisor. TSA, I don't even know the lady's name. I ain't going to try to remember what her name is. TSA agent, whatever. They tell me, oh, she's not here. She gone to lunch. Didn't I say that when I was on the train? So after we finally get things straightened out, they allow me to hand her ID and passport. But through all of this, she's still worried about her laptop. So she asked another agent if he was able to find a silver Dell. He said, oh, let me go check. He looks around and he said, I don't have a Dell, but I have an HP. She said, oh, my bad. I do have an HP. So he tells her, okay, if you can put your password in, then it's yours. You can take it with you. So she put your password in. She's filled with a bunch of joy. She's like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can I please give you a hug? You know, he turned it down. So he got the hug from her. And somebody say, one of his coworkers, another agent say, how you get a Dell mixed up with an HP? At this point, I think she about to snap. But she don't. I think she's a little too excited about the fact that she has retrieved her computer. So we are headed back to the train. Me and, what did I say her name was? Harley. Me and Quinn. When we get on the train with only minutes to spare, she says, oh no, I left my earbuds at TSA.